Tonight's show, we're doing a 2025 wrap-up and finding out what was the spiritual purpose of everything that happened in 2025. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You saw like there's something in your end table that David's too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's showing me flowers, like relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Tamara's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourselves. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Hello, beautiful souls. Happy Thursday Night Live. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How has your week been? I took off last week. I've been taking some weeks off, but 2026, I will be here more frequently every Thursday. So just understand it's the holidays wrapping up to 2025, which 2025 was a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs year, as I did predict. And y'all, I don't know if y'all saw my 2025 prediction video, where I actually made predictions for 2025 and 2024 and showing they all came to pass. So, and we're going to get into that tonight. Like, what was the spiritual purpose? Why did shit go down? Why did things happen the way they did in 2025? And what can we take from this? And where are we at in our part of our evolution with it? So we'll get into that. And then I wanted to prepare for, of course, next week, Thursday falls on Christmas Day. So, of course, we ain't doing it then. And then next Thursday, it falls on New Year's Day. But I think I will be doing a live show on New Year's Day. Why not, right? Because everyone parties on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, people just chillax. And so why not come and hang out with me on New Year's Day? And I'll do my 2026 predictions, what's to come and what I see coming, with the world and all that great stuff. So party hardy, right? So we'll be here, not next week, but isn't it funny? Thursday always falls on a holiday or some sort of special event in 2025. So I found that pretty interesting, but it's been an interesting week. This is definitely a week of, as we've been saying for all 2025, self-reflection. So it becomes redundancy, but I think this is a part of our self-reflection of really putting it into gear. Like those, we keep saying self-love, but I think a lot of us are starting to realize I'm actually taking those steps to find out what that really means, those bumper stickers of self-love and following the heart. We know now what that kind of means and how to do it. And so that's, I would say, the preparation for 2026 and what's going to really happen for 2026. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of a spoiler alert, kind of, for 2026. Because 2026, like, I look at years when I read them and I start with like an aura energy for it. And so like 2025, I would go back even before that, but 2025 was a very deep maroon, reddish, brownish color. And I knew it's going to be fiery, it's going to be chaotic, but also a lot will be coming, to, I would say, to light, to realization because of that fiery passion energy. But 2026 has like a very yellowish, baby blue with a lot of bit of green energy, like light green energy to it. So to me, it's innovative. It feels inspired. It feels like a lot of discovery, things finding its way, right? So, but I'll get into depths of that in a couple of weeks of what that really means. So I have to say there will always be chaos to a certain degree because we have to create from chaos. But for the most part, I think the heaviness from 2019 that's been going on up until now starts lifting a little bit, okay, in 2026. So I think that's a wonderful thing too. So without further ado, and I will start with the collective read as well as usual too. But before I do, let's see who's Chatty Cathy only in the room here, shall we? We have Blondie7. Good to see you. Hello, with the snowflake and the Christmas tree. I love the holiday spirit emojis. My sister from another mister, Noelle Way. Good to see you. Welcome back from your vacay. Got to touch base. My mom, Jennifer Cruz, in the room. Hello, my mother, Mameka, Brenda Zweck. Good to see you. Julie Fox. Good to see you as well. And my father, David Cruz, in the room. Never disappoints with Cruisyverse energy. The cruise is being apart. Our wonderful mod Nina is in the room. So if you want to get your questions in, get them in now. $15 for card pool, 20 for one question, 30 for two, 40 for a live video here with me. I love seeing your mugs. I do it every day with my clients, but it's always, I feel like I like the blind readings because it really tests my read. I'm not influenced, but I also love seeing your faces too and seeing your reactions and interacting. So the Venmo and PayPal links are in the description below. Any questions, any help, Nina's here to help. That was did that rhyme? I'm a poet, didn't know it. I don't know. Something rhymed there. I liked it. I'll have to replay it. Daniel Michael, 779. Good to see you. Can't wait to hear new music. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, girl. Yes, that's right. Yes, I am working on a song. It's near completion. Today, I was just actually re-recording some final vocal takes. I was like, listening to it. I'm like, I don't like the way I sound in that little part. So I had to go back in and re-record those vocal parts. And so, yes, I'm still an artist that does everything myself. No AI. I'm going to have to brand that. And so I've always done my music myself. And why would I want to take that fun away? But yes, I will re-sing a phrase if I don't like the way the phrase sounds. So I'm also a producer. I produce my own music. And so I definitely put a lot of heart and soul into the production of this song I'm going to be releasing in January. So, and just even the message behind it. So the title is called Save the Future, FYI. So, and it is kind of a roller coaster of a song, not to where it's Bohemian Rhapsody type of roller coaster, but there's a journey to it. And so I'm excited for you guys to hear it. And I said, this probably will be the last song I write a song where I sing so high. So, and then after this song, I have a ballad coming too. So, which my partner Eric has been like, will you finish that song? It's fucking amazing. So yes, excited about the new music, and I'm going to have to be redundant, guys, with this world of AI that it's my voice. I don't use auto-tune. I play my instruments. I do my own production, do all it myself. I always have been, and I still will continue to do so. And if I ever use AI for something, I'll let you know. But no. Anyway, so yes, thanks for bringing that up, Dana. I'm very excited too. And this song has very high energy, so I'm excited for that. Caroline Catton, good to see you. Good evening to you. I thank you for my words of wisdom, just my experience. I mean, you got this wisdom right from my experience and all that great stuff. So thank you for that. Darby Mayberry, good to see you. Iggy, can't you see? I will post your comment, but I can't. Sydney Aaron, my sister from another mister. Good to see you, my love. My favorite female Leo. Janelle Haugen, good to see you. Always good to see you. I miss you, Janelle. I miss you. We need to see you in person and shoot the shiz. Tracy Renault, good to see you. Alma Ford, good to see you as well. Starlight Reboot, New Moon, Solstice 3. Yes. Approaching energy in the air. Absolute. Thank you for that. I'm going to try to get, Iggy back onto it at some point to do some astrology too about his take on that as well. So yeah, thank you, Noel, for that. Jennifer Cruz as well, and James Porter, welcome aboard. Good to see you, my friend too as well. And I'm just seeing who else is in the room. Who's not Shetty? Bright Light Beckaboo, good to see you as well. Caroline Muniz. It's the font is small for me, so I apologize if I mispronounced. Good to see you. And those of you who are watching, welcome aboard. I can only see who's chatting in the room, so y'all have your privacy. Thank God. But let's start with our collective read, shall we? And I'm going to be on with my banners today. Bam. See that? Collective reading. All right. Let's get into this collective reading and see what Spirit has in store for just a message. We have the holidays coming up, which the holidays is great. So I think I want to play some music here. Or can I play some music? Back my music here. And so we'll just do that first. A little pensive while I shuffle so you don't hear me breathing. Okay. But yes, like I said before, guys, we're closing up 2025, obviously. But, let's understand, we don't have to be cliches with the new year, new you bullshit. But we also understand that we do live in a cyclical nature in our experience. So with astrology, with our years, with the way we're our generations and so forth. So there is significance of, of course, December being the bookend and we starting a new chapter. So many people fail with their resolutions only because they say, well, I have to do all of this right? I have to lose the 150 pounds. Well, maybe not 150 pounds you got to lose, but depending on what, but you're reaching to like complete everything next year. And please understand, it's a process. It's an evolution. It's a chapter. Where are you continuing on? Then you wouldn't have to do this new year, new you bullshit. You'll be like, this is where I'm coming from. I do need to grow from here. So this is where I'm going next. I can see where I'm going next. And allow yourselves to have that sense of evolution and not burden yourself so much about having to do everything at once, right? So, and it's going to be a unique year in December. So I'm very excited in December, in 2025. So I do love that. But let's see the overall cards that they're saying here. Just give me a couple seconds too as I shuffle. Because sometimes the thing come out and sometimes I gotta like wait and pull a little bit more, and so we're doing that. And a couple more cards in the mix here. Christian 144, good to see you here on YouTube. Welcome aboard on the YouTubes, Christian. All right, a couple more cards I think they want to pull, and then we'll get into this. Okay, makes sense. All right, I'm gonna pull some oracles. Almost done, and we're gonna get this reading started. James Porterfield? What does he have a problem? I don't know. Yeah, there is some crazy energy, but there's always crazy energy, But that's because the solstice energies in the ear, like Starlight Reboot said, right? So to pick up on that, but it feels like good vibes, crazy good, Release, sending, gotcha. We have it. Give me a couple seconds. Let me tune in and let's get this read going. Okay, all right. We're done with the music. Simple messages, guys. The four swords come in this position. This is all about rest. Now, I hate cliches, so I'm going to avoid cliches. But what does resting really mean? I think a lot of this has to do, if you think of even the terminology of lay to rest, like give it a rest type of ordeal, it's time to start identifying now, especially with this month of December, the things that you've been hounding all year. What have you been hounding all year on that you got it down, or you have to get that person? You just needed to give it a rest and give it a break for a moment. And so it's that overthinking Virgo energy I think a lot of us do possess. That's not times. But I think sometimes you have to say, let me just give it a rest. Let me give it space to breathe, because a lot of times what we have to do is just let things breathe. You don't have to hound over and over again. I want, because it keeps you in a state of desire. And I say keeping yourself in a stage of desire is kind of torture, because you're always in between stage. I want, but I don't have. So, and this is why I've always practiced and preached, against the law of attraction manifestation stuff, because that just is you practicing desire. And if you haven't, watch my other show called Gifted or Grifted, because I went through the grifters who utilize this, like, think more, practice more and more energy in order for you to get what you want. No, sometimes you have to give things a break and give things a rest. Most of us are very psychic with what we want and what we're desiring. The problem is we don't understand the timing of things and when it's supposed to come in and where does that lay in our trajectory as far as certain chapters. The more we're in sync and in tune and giving that space to breathe on things, we'll know this is supposed to be this position in my life. That's supposed to be that position in my life. Right now, this is the position I'm in now to do this. And so we have to be in tune with that. Right? And it's interesting that the Three of Pentacles come into that position right after that, saying that it's more about communal, but also about finding people of similar interests. Right. And, I'm a very independent person. I've been around a lot of people, but I like spending my time alone, but I still need to be around people and find like-minded people. And so that's very important for us to really understand. And even though we have online access and we have this video, that channel, that doesn't necessarily mean they're our tribe or the vibe that we need to be in either. Because right now we have the accessibility to everything in our fingertips, but that doesn't mean it's actually serving your purpose or giving you the boost and the, I would say, considerations in life that you need or reminders that you need either. Right. And so there's a lot of people who have elevated in their spiritual journey to where in this incarnation they can manifest or they can heal and do that stuff. But not everybody's at that stage. But then you have people trying to learn the manifestation healing thing on their own, but they don't have that ability. So they feel like there's something wrong with them and they have to go another avenue. So you got to find your tribe in a sense of like, what are you listening to? Right. And so I always tell people, like, we need to be objective with the world. But if you're not able to be objective with what's going on in the world, don't watch it. Don't pay attention. If it just makes you distraught, that's not your vibe. So now we've got to start thinking about what our tribe is like the channels we're tuning into, the blogs that we're writing into, the things that we're reading. Is that your tribe? Is that your vibe? Is it just upsetting you? So we need to be very mindful of this too, because if we're not mindful of that, then we kind of lose sight of what we want. We lose sight of what we feel. We lose sight of what we need to project. And that's the issue. And then that actually, because of that deprivation, then we start saying to ourselves, well, I need to get this. I need that relationship now. I need to pacify this lack. I need. And then you stay stuck in the desire wheel. Nothing happening, and I'm trying to manifest. Yay, praise God, all that crap you start, And so, and the justice card after this is talking about balance, being fair to yourself, right? And so, what does that really mean, being fair to yourself? There's a whole array of that, of being fair to yourself and what you're not being fair to. Because again, if you're listening to all this bullshit all the time and all this drama and chaos, is that fair to you to burden yourself with that energy? And I study what's going on with people, humanity, the collective. I'm always seeing what's going on because I need to, because especially if I'm making predictions, I want to know what to talk about, what to look into and how to read certain things. But, and I was like surrounding myself with a lot of like irritability. And I started realizing I was being very fucking irritable. And I'm like, why am I so irritable? Like, my life is great. Everything's good, And then I start realizing I'm being influenced by this irritability of what I'm trying to learn and like surround myself with, the energy you pick up on it. And so you guys have to all understand that about what you're watching. Bad, but also in the good stuff too, because if you're participating in things that are contributing to your well-being and where you're at, well, that will benefit you. That you'll catch on to that too. So I'm a very strong person, but I can still be susceptible to a lot of that energy too. So I have to know the timing of things and the breaks and taking that, again, relaxation, restation, getting things to rest a little bit, so I can tend to be fair to myself. Same with you all. Be fair. Is it fair to you to keep burdening yourself with that energy, to worry all the time about all things that are maybe nonsensical? You know what I'm saying? So, and just even the fairness of understanding too about, are you behaving in a way that's fair to you, in a sense of, are you allowing yourself to give yourself the benefit of growth, the benefit of learning, the benefit of gaining wisdom, the benefit of allowing yourself to expand and your perspective to expand? Are you giving yourselves that fairness and justice of that case? Are you giving yourself that vacation that you need? Are you allowing yourself to ask for that promotion? All these things they're saying is kind of part of what 2025 was meant to bring up for you. It was meant to bring up these realizations because of all the deprivations and restrictions that we've had in 2025, to allow ourselves to resurrect these karmic purposes that we have not fulfilled, or these karmic cycles we've still been stuck in. And so, and now we're starting to realize I am stuck in this cycle. So what do I do about it? That's what 2025 was all about. It still is all about it, because we're still in 2025. We still got a couple weeks. Like, you still have some work to do. You can still catch up, y'all, right? And the hangman position as well. This is all about a spiritual awakening. And it is turning things upside down, so to speak. So I'm going to take this card quite literal, because it really fits the narrative here about, yes, like, sometimes you got to turn things upside down. Sometimes you got to flip that damn table. Turn that table over. And start seeing things for kind of what they are. And sometimes a little distortion can have you like see what's been there that you didn't realize before. So now is the time to kind of turn things upside down, look at things from a little bit of a different angle. And so, because if you don't do that consciously, the problem is that'll happen in your life somehow or way or another. Something will fall apart. Something will come to a head in your life. Something will like boom, and what I'm saying, and the rug will be pulled beneath you, because your soul knows it has to evolve. And if you're allowing your physical brain, your physical persona to lag on that, your soul will be like, I'll bang my body around. I'll give myself that illness. I'll give myself that health scare. I'll knock my body in an accident. I'll do those things to wake me up, right? But why does it have to get to that point? It doesn't have to get to that point. If you're conscious enough to understand the mist of what you're around and what you're surrounding yourself in, and what you're allowing to be justified of an idea, a thought, a feeling, a perspective, a belief, right? We talked about beliefs a couple of weeks ago. It was perfect timing, because it was time that we were shedding a lot of beliefs and creating a lot of new beliefs. So that's very, very, very important to understand, right? And so I love the Oracle card. It's all about releasing, baby. Release. I know the focus. I know it's reversed too. My mom was asking me, how come your coif is on this side? My coif be quaffing. Does my coif be quaffing? The coif was like, yesterday, I took a picture of my friend. I was like, my coif is like really quaffing today. And I'm like, a cup of coffee. Anyways, but yeah, it's actually reversed because I need to have the way I can see the things on my screen. Anyways, side note, just so you know. But release. And so let's take release. Let's take the cliche from it because you know me, I'm no nonsense approach to spirituality. I like to make spirituality grounded, but also intellectual in a way that's purposeful and meaningful and just not fluff, right? There's fluff. We need fluff in the certain times, but we need clarity. We don't need just release, guys. Go with the flow. Find the flow. Spirit's calling you and manifest. No. Let's talk about what release really means. A lot of times we hold on to things because we are afraid to grab onto something new. And a lot of times we are afraid to grab onto something new because we don't feel like we deserve it. 1, 2, if we actually can sustain it, or 3, if we're actually equal to it. So therefore we don't release because we're like, well, I can't let go of this because I'm afraid of grabbing onto this. So what do I do? And so a lot of these times about release is really understanding what do you deserve to grab onto? What are you able to grab onto? And making the excuses for yourself to get yourself intellectually there to comprehend, I can grab onto that. I can have that. I'll make it work. I'll figure it out, right? Those simple coaching processes. Because then once you make that realization, you naturally release. You naturally let go. Right? So everybody else talks about like letting go. But I'm like, but you're letting go because why are you holding on? To begin with, why can't you grab on to something else, right? So when we understand that, then we naturally release. Releasing is a natural effort. It's an organic release, right? It's an organic, I would say, result of knowing what's next for you. And that's interesting that the assessing card comes shortly after this, right? Which means that you start then looking ahead. You start saying, where am I heading? Please understand, we're growing. I know this is very cliche, but we need to understand we are evolving. We have to evolve. If we don't evolve, we get depressed. If we don't evolve, we get suicidal. We have suicidal ideation. I've been there, done that too. If we don't evolve and we stay stuck and we stay in that contempt of self energy, that's where all this fear and all this other energy just starts surrounding us and becomes a huge deprivation. We're stuck in this density. But if we actually say, well, where am I evolving from here? How can I evolve from here? Then you start assessing more of your internal dialogue of the soul. You start assessing your purpose. You start assessing more of what you deserve and so forth. So, I left a tag on there's a tag. I left my little tag on here. I just noticed that. I'm like, what is this on here? Thought I took off all the tags. Anywho. So this is what we need to start be thinking about too. And how could you? Need not what you believe you can do. Because I say, fuck trying to believe that you can do it. Stop trying to believe that I'm good enough. Just say to yourself, why am I not? Make it rational for yourself. What can I do from here? Right? And then you can start creating a belief. Start using belief as a tool, right? And the last card is gratitude. Right? So how can we defluff gratitude? Well, gratitude, if we understand, it's a technology. It's a tool, right? It's a power. So with gratitude, I like to always amplify gratitude to create more value and to bring the value in what I have now to bring more value in. So gratitude is actually a great key to amplify value to bring in more value for yourself. And so when you walk around and use the technology of the gratitude frequency, you can definitely move a lot in your life, bring in a lot in your life, and put out a lot in your life. So if you're not have any sort of gratitude for things around you, no wonder why you're stuck. No wonder why things ain't improving. No wonder why you're not attracting more, because why would you get more if you don't even like what you have now? And if you don't see more in what you can create from what you have, then how do you expect intellectually that to happen for you? So practicing gratitude when you do it in a way that you understand the technology behind the frequency and power of the gratitude energy and how to utilize that. You're more saying, I'm creating value, I'm appreciating the value, I'm giving it value, and I'm going to create more value for it too. Thankful for that. A lot of people think gratitude, thank you for giving me what I want. Thank you for giving me what I need. Thank you. I'm so gracious. You gave me my car. Thank you for the boyfriend. I'm so This isn't a Santa Claus list. I know it's Christmas time, y'all, but life is not Christmas. Being gratitude is like really also appreciating what is and you placing the value on it. Because whatever you deem to be valuable, you will actually allow it to expand. You'll expand with it, and that will evolve and become bigger and greater things. Because then you'll find the time valuable enough to integrate with it, right? To mingle with it, to expand it, and boom. And I always say that's a formula to manifesting money, is that when you put out value, you create value, you get value in return, and other people find it valuable, and then the value goes up, it appreciates, and guess what? That's where you also make a lot of money too. That's the kind of form of money when you're trying to focus on that, in a sense, And so I think it's a really interesting time to start thinking about this because, as we wrap up 2025, we need to understand, did we do the work? Did we just complain about everything that happened in our life, or did I lose these deprivations as a wake-up call to say, oh, that's where I need to be focusing? That's simple. That's the simplicity of it, right? So I think it's just pull more card in closing just to wrap that up, and then we'll get into kind of the topic of like why 2025 happened, and I'll kind of break down like the political side. I kind of actually made notes of what I wanted to, kind of how I wanted to structure probably some of the political things. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to, if I want to do specific talk about it, but it's kind of like I said, I'm going to just do the generalizations of what things are happening and kind of not in a sort of a specific way. In a sense, interesting. The world card came up here. Okay. I have to say we're in the age of Aquarius. Okay, what does this mean? We're no longer in the age of Pisces where it's all about we need a savior and all about me, like the George Bush era, right? Me. Although we do teach empowerment, right, in spirituality and self-love, it's very important. But that's the starting ground, right? Because we have to start thinking about how we do, because the world card is coming out very literal to me, but how do we encompass ourselves in the world? And this is what the cycle of the age of Aquarius is all about, is really to understand where your cycle fits. How do you fit in with this world? What is your participation in this world that you are in? And how do you want to contribute moving forward about the things you don't like? And how do you want to make things better in the world that you are in? Because, we are all different fragment pieces, shards, glasses, what do you call it, of the bigger picture. We're pieces of the whole. And so what we do matters. And what we don't do matters as well. And we're starting to notice now, especially with things going on in our political environments, that the more we don't act, these corporations, these special interest people matching with government are taking over, and they don't really care anymore because you're not doing anything about it. Making excuses for it. And it's right before our eyes. And that right now, no, they don't even have to even hide anymore of the corruption because no one does just sit back. They're waiting for somebody else to come in and change it. That's why 2025 is very heavy. Let's get into it. As I change my... Why is that so small? Okay, let's do this. Okay. I don't know why that's so small up there. Why 2025 happened? Let's first talk about, instead of like saying, let's get into why it happened, let's talk about what happened. Okay. So let's talk about the political environment, right? So there was constant global conflict, right? Which kept a sense of instability, in lingering in the background of our lives, right? So we don't know if there's instability in our global environments and we're interacting with that. There's this feeling of being unsafe. There's that feeling of uncertainty about, could something happen? Could we be wiped out? So a lot of this came to I would say, consciousness in the political sphere. There's, of course, the rising polarization between liberals and conservatives, that whole bullshit, which is a facade, right? So that's also becoming people fighting for their political team, which has also broken down our sense of humanity. It's more about being right. Well, I voted for this person, so no matter what, I got to defend it. Instead of saying, I voted for that motherfucker, so he better do his job. I'm not supporting it. And instead of having that approach, be like, I have to defend it because I voted for it. I can't, not feel bad because then I feel responsible. So no, I'm going to keep defending the bullshit. That's 2025 energy too, even though it's all in our faces. But a lot of people are starting to realize and break that down too. And of course, the governments have increased control and regulation and surveillance. We're talking about how much are they surveilling us to? That's always been a thing. But now we're starting to wonder with AI, the rising of AI, how are they implementing that, and how, because they didn't release also, they did an attack with AI or something like that too, with Google Gemini, the government did, or something of that nature. I was like, use Google Gemini to actually infiltrate an attack? What? Are you kidding me? Right? And so we've also been shown now, can we really trust our leadership? And a lot of these institutions, political institutions, start to kind of erode with trust within the public, right? So what does that mean for us karmically now? Well, it's showing to us what we should be seeing is we have to stop putting these certain leaders on pedestals. We have to understand people who are leading are just trying to do a job for us that we cannot do, but they're also here to answer to us as well. They are part of us. They're not above us. They're not our saviors, right? Like the Cheeto Jesus we have in office right now, and then we had, I don't know what we had the last, every president we've had so far has been a huge disappointment, in my opinion. There was still small wins, of course, along the way, because we have beautiful people in Congress, beautiful people in lower levels of government trying to make change, right? And so, but for the most part, the past administrations have been a huge failure, in my opinion, And I'm not on either side. I will critique either side. I don't care. I don't care about your fucking politics. Get out of here. That's the shit that's eroding our civilization and culture, which is why 2025 is happening. To show to you, look at this. Hello. Are you now buying on to all this corruption and all this stuff? And people are still like, what? When's things going to change? What? So 2025, and at least with the governmental political series, they wake you up to realize that you need to be leading your own life and not relying upon governments to do it for you and to facilitate it for you. We have to facilitate what the government is going to do for us because we don't have time to do the job. There's people who are in those jobs that need to take care of those things. That's what we should be doing. That's what's here to wake us up. And we have a lot of karma. A lot of us collectively have karma about submission. A lot of us, a majority of people in our collective have religious karma, of guilt and self-condemnation and all that stuff, which is why the whole Christian thing has been a big thing in our society and the war against like Satanism and all that bullshit, because we're trying to break out of that karma too and understand we don't need organized religion. We don't need higher levels of government in the way we have it now. It needs a refinement. We need to change these things, right? And so, especially now, with the regulation, this current administration is trying to, regulate now CBD and marijuana. It's like, I knew that was going to happen. I think we all knew that was, Stevie Wonder saw that coming, right? And so it's like, why? Why are we having this high levels amount of regulation? Because people are so focused on their AI boyfriend and girlfriend and, getting their money they want to manifest, because they're not focused on what's really going on. But 2025 has woken up a lot of people to start focusing on what's going on now. And to realize karmically, we have to rise up and dictate how we want to have our leadership be and what type of leadership that we need that's best for all people, right? People still clenching to religion and trying to make religion, you're falling by the wayside. Religion is crumbling, okay? It might be a 5 to 7 year time frame before religion becomes obsolete, at least in America, but it will change its form. Those who are religious might change the form and upgrade their Christianity or Catholicism into a more well-rounded spiritual approach, as a lot of Christian churches have done that now. And so religion will be kind of emerging more to spirituality and more of an overall encompassing of evolution and, objectivity, right? Non-judgmental energy. So, but this is what our collective is teaching us with the government is to wake up to these types of these foundations. And ridding ourselves of our waiting for things to happen, saying, I want to take charge now. I need to step up to the plate, right? Which gets us to the financial weight that we've had in 2025, right? So interest rates kept, people feeling stuck financially, right? They were manipulating the markets like crazy. And how politics was definitely affecting the market too for a lot of people, as well. And I did predict in 2024 that 2025 Bitcoin will reach its highest it's ever had. And it did, but it, died out. And so they are pulling their strings as it's clear. And debt, I think a lot of people, because of the tariffs and, the temporary thing with tariffs, that, the debt made people, more cautious financially, feeling like there was like a limited version of finances and things being scarce, a scarce energy, which is not true, but it put a lot of that onto us. It resurrected a lot of our karmic fears about scarcity. Right. And then the money stress became, more of an emotional thing, not a practical thing. So many people may have actually, this year I took control of financial holes that I was not paying attention to. And I used that energy to really be in tune with every single penny. I became cheap, actually. Where I'm just like, no, I'm every penny I appreciate. I'm not just throwing it out there, So, and the flip side, it was there to teach us more about that, about our own financial instabilities, but also how to become more independent financially. A lot of people caught on to that this year, starting their own businesses, starting their things online, leaving corporate world, right? And so, but a lot of people were just feeling that uncertainty, realized how much they did rely on the government, especially when it came to our healthcare, and get rid of this, and the issues we had with healthcare this year too, that showed a lot of people how much they actually were relying upon the government. And many people were like, I need to do more for myself now. or find a way where I can balance myself too. But also those who can do it themselves start to realize we need to take care of those who are vulnerable. We can't look at things as a broad scope, or people just taking advantage of the healthcare system. There are some, but the system doesn't just work that way. There's approval processes and so forth, right? So a lot of rhetoric out there. And so a lot of people realizing, especially me included, we need to be focusing on those who are vulnerable and help them, the best way possible, and identify when there's people taking advantage. It's just like the immigration shit. Oh, all the illegals are criminals. Well, there are some, and we all want to get rid of the criminals too, but it's not black and white like that. This black and white rhetoric, which is we've been seeing a lot of innocent people, even with ICE being detained and abused for no reason, innocent people and who are actual citizens. We're starting to see, oh, okay, well, the government hired some random people to be ICE. Now we're starting to see the injustices of this energy of not really caring for those who are vulnerable. And so that's the point here too. But then there's that rhetoric saying, well, but they're all illegals and so they may not be here. It's like, but it's not that black and white. Everyone agrees we don't want crime here. Right? Everyone agrees we want to maintain our jobs and our own financial, wealth and so forth. Everyone agrees with that. It's not the rhetoric that people just want to let people in. It's not like that. So that rhetoric is now starting to come to light too within our, economy, right? And seeing that like, wait a minute. So it's not so black and white. Duh. Right? So, but a lot of people are starting to realize it has been so black and white. That's a wonderful thing. And so as far as with the economic weight we've been experiencing, of course, they were saying the cost of living has stayed high, making things difficult to get ahead, so to speak. The job security in our economy was, very fragile because AI has been like doing a lot of automation. So there's been a lot of trepidation about AI taking jobs. We've been talking about that a lot this year too. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, this is inevitable. But I predicted this back in 2013, 2014. There's a blog. I forgot when. But I didn't call it. What I call it, I said sometime when the systems collapse, the government's going to pay every citizen a salary. That's what I called it back in like 2013. And this was no discussion about this at all. I said, I feel like they'll probably give people like maybe 30, 40,000 a year to survive. And then if you want to make more, you can. But if not, you can just nestle up and survive with that. And I did see like I said robots at that time doing things and then about 6 years ago, they would start talking about universal basic income was kind of implanted in people's consciousness. So I do feel like that's going to happen as AI automation takes place. They will start introducing universal basic income. UBI. So, I predicted that a long time ago, but I didn't know that was the term at that time. So a lot of people are starting to question now, do they want to be reliant upon the government for a basic income? But what is that going to be? Because, if AI is doing everything and then people have no jobs, these corporations are not going to make money if people are not buying things because they can't work, right? So there has to be another system to implement. Not all of it's bad. Everything has a duality. It could be bad. It could be great too. So it depends on which end of the spectrum are you're looking at reality to make it worth your while in a sense. So there's no black and white answer to this sense. It's going to be a spectrum of that, right? And, of course, because the future being unclear, it puts a lot of weight and stress on things and people not wanting to take any leaps or risks. And I think that's, again, it's the spiritual reason for this, of us experiencing that 2025 with the economy, is to understand how can we create our own foundation? How can I solidify my own foundation and get my security on my own? How can I build that more independently? And a lot of people are saying, how can we help others to do that too? How can we help others to expand and progress in that as well, right? So I think that's what a lot of people are starting to realize. A lot of us who are evolved are starting to see that come to light. Many people are still stuck in this, like the fear of uncertainty, which I always say, please hold on to yourself. There has to be chaos before an evolution, a major bang, a major breakthrough. And so we're just going through that now, but it's all giving the realization, the clues, the blueprint, what's next. But overall in 2025, people felt slower despite, having more effort. And they kind of felt like it more struggle to do little minor achievements than it did many, many years ago. And I think people are feeling like, and this is interesting about holding on to everything, that this card was even coming up, I was saying that people are feeling that they have things around them. They're just trying to hold on to what they have and not splurge, which I think is another spiritual lesson, saying we have to stop splurging. We have to stop spending money on bullshit and just spending things just because. Does Black Friday really matter? Do we need to be waiting in line and trampling over people just for some material object? So I think a lot of us have refined our perspectives on what's really important and what we want to invest in truly. This is why 2025 happened, guys. This is part of where we're at in our evolution. It's to understand our own financial security, how we can develop it for ourselves, how we can be self-reliant on ourselves. So this way we have our own chance of maneuvering and surviving the economy that we're in. And also not allowing governments and dictatorships and corporations to infiltrate and to be control of every aspect of our world and economy and financial aspects. Because at the same time, we have to look at big tech really owns government at this point. Big tech is just funding government. You can see how corrupt it is on both sides of the fence. And that's what we're living in. So do you want to continue feeding it? Or do you want to do something to kick it in the nuts so it stops and we can evolve in a different way? That's the point we're supposed to wake up to. Now with relationships too, 2025 was all about for a lot of you guys who are conscious. If you're here, you're more conscious and about your evolution spiritually. But a lot of relationships took a kick in the nuts this year too. And I think a lot of even strong relationships were tested this year because they were, a lot of the unresolved karma was resurfacing. And I say unresolved karma because we thought we did work on our karma. We thought we'd handle it, but these little pieces of our past karma start creeping in. And that was causing this in our relationships. I'm just saying romantic relationships, a lot of relationships, actually, different dynamic relationships. But I was telling people during this time, do not worry. It's there to help us to evolve. It's not going to be the ending of this relationship. It's just going to be a testing period so we can evolve and truly refine ourselves on what we want to let go of and what we want to grab onto. And so that's going to be a huge change for us. So we actually have a better chance of our relationships and actually experience our relationships the way we keep saying we want to manifest. There's work to do it. And so a lot of us did it this year. I know I did for one too. And a lot of people close to me have done it as well. So now we're really refining. And I think a lot of people who have not been say, I don't want a relationship are saying, I want a partner. And I want to kind of a partner the way I defined a partner to be. And so there's been a lot of realization too when it comes to our relationships in 2025. And the whole reason for that is to say, you deserve a relationship. You deserve companionship. You deserve community because we're in the age of Aquarius, guys. And so, and even with parental relationships are just as important too, and with your family and parents as well. There's been a lot of kicking the nuts with that as well. There's a lot of realizations of, I have to distance myself from my family not because of politics, but because they don't appreciate, or they're actually doing harm in my life right now. So there's been a huge test in relationships, more so this year than the years prior, I would say. So we had it served to us in 2025. But for me, it's a great year for movement. We created a lot of movement energetically, and 2026 is the fulfillment. Okay. So we create the movement, getting rid of things, getting rid of emotion, taking that leap to move, taking that leap for a job. But in 2026, it's fulfillment time. We start actually being involved and entrenched in it and participating in it and living it. Right? Just like my phrases, and I'm going to conclude there. I don't just talk this shit, repeat the shit. I'm living it. Well, same thing for you guys too. Next year, you guys will be living it. And a lot of guys, prematurely been feeling that in 2025 too as well. But no matter where you're at, we've all had these abrupt, massive challenges. And please remember, the collective world that we are seeing is also a representation of what's going on in our subconscious. We all relate to this aspect of karmic disarray. We all relate to levels of karmic fragmentation. So what you're seeing in the external world that you're triggered by reacting to, you relate to it. So there's somewhere unresolved within you that relates to that needs healing. And also needs to be standing up for yourself, right? And so the extremes are going to start dwindling down. No more extremes anymore. People are starting to kind of gravitate and find a middle ground. There'll always be a few fucking dumb nuts that are still fucking holding on to fucking their bullshit religions and how religions are there to hate, and all these other people that are so far out there on the extreme other side that, trying to break the norms of reality for no reason. So you always have crazy people out there because there need to be crazy people in this realm spiritually. So we understand that we're sane. We need to have a spectrum of everything at all times, guys, so we can understand how to weigh ourselves and judge ourselves on things and to reflect on things. So next year, you'll be living it. So yeah, in a couple weeks, New Year's Day, actually, New Year's evening, we'll be talking about 2026 predictions, specifically what to expect. And so please, guys, take advantage of this whole encompassed energy of 2025 and what it really means for us and how it's really bringing out what we want to express truly It's not about these systems. These systems will always change based on how we change our consciousness. They will naturally change on their own, but we have to make that change. As simple as that sounds, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. As cliche it is, that is very much truth and powerful wisdom there that we need to be thinking about. Okay. And so before I get into the live readings, let's have a quick message from Nina.
What is up, Thursday crew? I'm excited to do a channel message tapped in fresh for you. So when I was tapping in, I kept getting this energy of like rickety bumps, like an old carriage that goes over these like old cobblestone floors and it's rickety. Like I'm hearing like it's gonna be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but it's still gonna be fun. And I got that before I went to my closet and I was like, I really want to pull from a deck. So I grabbed this box and I opened it up and it was completely empty where there should have been a card deck. So at this point, I'm like, what is going on? But underneath the box area, like underneath that, there's just one card and the card is freedom. And it's this woman riding this horse and going towards freedom. So there is this, you are charging towards something different. You are charging towards a better space. It might just be like when you're riding that horse, like rickety a little bit or bumpy as you go along. What I'm hearing specifically around this messaging is that it took a long time to even get to here. So be proud of being here. Before like you're charging forward with the horse, like expect there to be changes, expect there to be job changes, financial changes, relationship changes, and all this will be unfolding within the next 2 months, I keep feeling. And it's nice because ultimately it's all about this freedom energy and you experiencing liberation, experiencing joy and freedom in a way that previous subconscious limiting beliefs might have kind of tied you back or created an illusion of tying you back. But I'm hearing like the shackles are free, the lines are free, you're moving forward. So just whenever you're on the horse and there's like that little dip, like keep trusting that path forward and you'll get there. Love y'all. See you in the chat.
Good job, Nina. Yes, exactly. Freedom. And that, I'm glad you added that because it's true. That's what we're really working toward. And we are looking at all these deprivations and pulling off those chains to say, like, I've been bound by these political things, these economic things, these financial things. I want to be free from that, so instead of jumping ship and going completely like, I'm just going to like live in my van, we're going to find ways to really start doing that naturally. Yeah, so good addition to that. Thank you so much. Okay, and guys, get your questions in now because once I'm done, I'm done. So get your questions out if you want a question in. Again, they're right there. PayPal, Venmo links in the description. And okay, so first we have a card pull from Sydney. Sydney Adolm. I must have had some conservatives in the room because when I talked about... conservative. My parents are conservative. I always say I'm a conservative liberal because I have conservative values. I have very liberal values. I have a spectrum of things. So, but there's people who I would say that maybe extreme conservative left the room when I was talking about what I was talking about. Because I don't think people need people to pick a side. I won't pick a side. I'm like, you're all fucked up in the extremes. You're all fucked up. And here's a spectrum of things that work. A lot of people don't like that. They're like, no, but you have to fight for my side. Pick my side. Pick my side. And it's like, no, because there's some things that you do I like, some things that you do I hate. Some things I do you like, some things I do I don't like either. So that picking a side it's not objective, and that defeats the purpose of objective and unaffected, right? So I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I noticed that people like, see ya, he's talking about like, what? He's not MAGA. He's not, hyper liberal either. So like, yeah, surprisingly enough, a lot of people are very much in the middle of things and could look at both sides of the spectrum and pick and see this is formally their own opinion to things, So, I mean, yeah. And the extreme crap, please go somewhere else with that. Y'all hurting, y'all with your extremes, with your politics, you're all hurt. You're the ones hurting our I'm just going to say this real quick. Y'all hurting our society. For the need to be right, you're hurting our society. You're like harming our species. And if you think of everybody is one organism, you're just stabbing our organism because you have to be right with your politics. And I'm just saying to yourself, if you're Mother Earth, how would you want to nurture everyone in the world here? You know, and do you see things with different people, or you're just lumping people in? Are you just taking people and making a blanket statement over with everybody? What are you doing? Is everybody one way? All gays are this? I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not a gay guy that's on drugs and going out there and sleeping around. I'm actually in a committed relationship, and I've been focusing on my work. I don't do all those things. I'm not. So your blanket statements about people is like just basically taking like and stabbing the organism that you're a part of, because you got to be right. Because something within you is triggering your own deprivations. And I don't care. So with the people who are extremes, go take a hike. I won't even entertain it anymore. Right? We got to stop getting that energy. You know, and again, this goes for the extreme left of politics and the extreme right of politics. Y'all harming things. So we all got to find our middle ground of what works. Let people be and understand why people are the way they are, what people need, what they need. And that's the only way that we're going to allow ourselves to just move forward and live in peace. Not that we have to love everybody. You don't have to love everybody, guys. But you got to at least love humanity and the species for what it is and put love into it. Big difference. Like, I have to love the person who hates me? No, you don't. Even Jesus hated. I mean, the God in the Bible killed firstborns. I mean, there was no love all the time there either. So you have to love it, but what you have to do is understand it and put love into it. Big difference, guys. And so many people are too lazy to do that. And many people are too lazy to outgrow their false political stances, even though they're being proved in their face how wrong they are on both sides. They're still holding on to it. So to me, that's the destruction of the human consciousness and also the human intellect. And it's almost an insult to everybody else here that's trying to really navigate and mediate things within our society. It's an insult to that. So take your fucking politics and shove it. Get off of it. Stop watching these politically charged in one area direction, political, right, left, whatever it is. Get your head out of that bullshit and start looking at things more objectively and say, how can I participate? Otherwise, you guys will be left behind. Those will be people left behind with that bullshit, because more and more people waking up to this. I've been talking to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people, many clients for the past 12 years, thousands and thousands of people. And majority of people that come to me are not politically charged. So a lot of people out there that you don't realize, there's 350 million people in America alone, only like a couple million, watch the news tonight. The many people living their lives are seeing things more objectively than you think. And so those are the people who are going to start making up and bringing down and taking down these structures. So be prepared. If you're clinging to that structure, you're going to crumble. It's going to crumble. You're going to be left behind, because we're spiritually going in a different direction. Just a little bit of warning for you guys. Okay. Okay. So Sydney, you got a interesting little spread here. Sydney you got the world card, then the Lover's card, then the Seven of Swords. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, the world card to me, it really feels like you're going to be branching out of your own space. So in the world card, there's a completion, a cycle that you will be experiencing energetically, intellectually. So I feel like things might feel more complete moving forward into next year. You feel like, I've kind of came full circle in a sense when it comes to my deprivations. Yes, thank you, Karma. Yes, live readings. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. I love you. And so you're going to come full circle. And I really feel like that might lead to a relationship. You're meeting something new in 2026. So there might be a starting of a relationship next year, something that's really, indicative of that. And yeah, the Seven of Swords it kind of came in between the two, right? Because I just want to, even though it came, I just want to kind of leave it last. That you have to understand that I think this is not that you have to be cautious. I think now you see the people that might take advantage, or people are not being genuine, sincere, but you're still entertaining it though. Stop entertaining it. You see it, you know it, but stop entertaining it. Stop fluffing it up their asses. So that's will be kind of the completion of the cycle when you stop entertaining it, even though you know it and see it. Like I said before, you have to love everybody, but I love them. No, you don't. They don't love you. So it doesn't mean you have to hate them. Just be like, I don't love them. And so no big deal. I love you because you're human, but that's about it. But when you finish that cycle completion, and that's 2026, yeah, I feel a relationship coming, or dating or something of that nature. Meeting someone new, someone interesting, I feel next year. you know, so yeah, so get your dating shoes, get your dating shoes on, girl, because I feel like you'll be open to that next year. So a lot of good work, you know, this was you from 2022 to 2025. This is you're saying, okay, trapped, stuck, you know, so, it's a rebirth, baby. It's a rebirth. So I'm glad to see it's happening finally. You might have been lagging on it a little bit on this evolution, girl, but now you're starting to pick up the pace in 2026. Look good. And we all work at our own pacing, our own timing, no judgments. And there's a lot of people too that come to me at readings and they keep asking the same specific questions about a relationship. I'm like, I don't care. I'm here to help you process. I'm here to read every step of the way so you can be more in tune. Don't judge yourselves if you're in relationships that are not well for you. Just be objective. Say, okay, I'm in it, but let me just observe what's going on here. Don't beat yourself up. And I always tell people, I don't care if you keep coming back with the same question in a relationship. I'm here to help you process and read it for you and read where you're at in your evolution. So it's quite all right. You guys are so hard on yourselves. None of us came here that knew that we all had it figured out or we're going to completely figure it out. We came here to figure it out, you know? So, yes. Okay. So that was, for Sydney. That's, my sister from another mister. You know what you're talking about? Okay, good. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. You better know what I'm talking about. All right. Next we have, Katie has a question. She says, what does the time look around for me landing a new job? God, everybody with their job questions this year has been like crazy. People like, am I going to get this interview? Like there's been a lot of that. The timing for me, it's still lingering like 3 to 4 months within. They're saying you're not looking in the right places, or you're not looking in the right place. You're not presenting yourself the right way. There's still a confusion about what you want. So I don't think you're still being like really certain of what you're wanting in direction. So it's saying within 3 to 4 months, but that's not set in stone. So when you ask about timing on this, these aren't set in stone. And so let me just be clear to you. Not every step you take is written in the stars. We're just reading kind of things that are not written in the stars, the progression of it now, but could be changed. Okay. So a lot of people need to start understanding that too. Like, you know, when we're reading certain things like this, like, well, you can change this, but right now it's like, you're still lagging on this for 2 to 3 months. And this is why you're lagging on it. You're not being refined on what you specifically want. And you're not conveying yourself in the way that's benefiting you enough. So I'll just change your approach on, you know, how you present yourself when you're going to an interview, when you're looking for a job, meeting people, and be more clear and more set on what this is what I want in the direction you want to go. So so I say 3 to 4 months, because I feel like that will be no longer than that. You'll find something, but it's so unnecessary. I would change that so you don't have to have a 3 to 4 month wait still. So yeah. But again, that prediction is flexible. You can change that. But I need to understand, I had to convey to you why it's being dragged out. It shouldn't be dragged out this much. But like, and also being specific, but also understanding how to be flexible too. But that, because you don't want to be overly specific either, they're saying. That's one thing they want me to kind of refine to you. Some of you are too specific and they don't understand how, like, yeah, but it's not this, but it does have this. Like, really just be more well-rounded about the specifics of things. Okay. Lily, question from Lily says, I am planning to move locally on January 15th, seeking help deciding between 2 options. Tom's tiny house, or a house my parents are in the process of purchasing but won't be moving into for a year. Let me see. Does this feel familiar to me? Hold on a second. Let me see something for a minute here, my love. I feel like I'm having deja vu. You know, let me see. I don't know. I kind of feel like the tiny home avenue for some reason, you know, might be a great start, you know? So I really feel like even though the Tom's tiny home might feel small, tiny. I was trying to find another word. Might feel tiny. I know there's something about it. I feel like it would be really good for your well-being for some reason. I mean, I think it'd be that kind of teaching about like true necessity, but also about the limitations would be very freeing for you, you know? So, I mean, and even just like logically speaking, I'm just feel like even if you did tiny house for 1 year and then do the house the second year, it might just be kind of a streamline of events. I wouldn't wait and skip over the tiny house. I wouldn't do that. I feel like I would go for the tiny house thing. And I also feel like that you like it feels bigger than I thought it would feel, or something. You'd really appreciate for some reason. I think it's going to really ground you. I also see you being more involved in nature. So that means that I feel like you'll be there, you'll have like, but you'll probably also be wanting, like, I want to go out and be in nature a little bit more too. You know, and so you might even feel a lot of that energy as well. And then I'm also connected with community too. So I think that's going to be a lot for your well-being and wellness that the tiny home, I think, would just kind of bring. And it might feel contrary logically, but actually it's not energetically actually. So, but it might just be you do that for a year and then maybe you did the house your parents bought. So it might be that you do both, but I just feel like I wouldn't pass up on the tiny home opportunity and experience personally. My read on that. You know what I mean? Okay. We have a question from Janelle Haugen. What do you see in 26 for my career and relationships? Choose what stands out, please and thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, those are like full reading questions. Precisely. But let me see. I'll just kind of be more general because like it's a very broad term that requires a lot of time to digest. But yeah. And so like you said, choose what stands out. Let me see what does stand out for me. I'm going to kind of go through both because nothing really remarkably pops out, but I feel like I heard more flexibility in career. So there might be opportunities or options with your career that provides more flexibility, I feel like. Relationships, I feel more platonic relationships in 2026, which I feel like the flexibility of career leads to, which is interesting you probably asked because they're kind of going to go together. I feel like flexibility of career eases up on you and then you have more time to travel. And spending time with more platonic friendships and building more of that, you know, the friendships I feel like in relationships. So it feels like new energy in a sense, but still familiar. Not so much of a grandeur of a change, but it's kind of a new starting of a chapter. I don't feel like 2026 is a year of love. I think more 2027 might welcome the love in. But 2026 is about communal, platonic friendships and having the ability to travel to do that and to maintain friendships. That's why I feel like 2026 is more for you on that regard, Janelle. To be general, because otherwise, you know, I don't need 45 minutes to go down to every little specific. But so it might surprisingly be more flexibility. So with your career, because it could be the job becomes more flexible or you find one that's flexible. You know, I don't think the emphasis is actually going to be on career, though. The emphasis will be on a job that pays well and a job that I can do that's flexible because I'm going to focus on platonic friendships and building stability. And I think that's what's going to lead you to actually romantic relationships into more of 2027, 2028 if you're lagging a little bit. But I think it's that kind of foundational changes I think is going to allow you to really feel secure to actually find a romantic relationship. All right, so I hope that helps. Next, we have a card pull for Danny. And let's see what the cards want to say. Over here, over there, everywhere. All right. Card pull for Danny. And then we're good. Oh, wait, no, then I have karma. I think we have a question karma on... Oof. Okay, these just fell out. So whatever flopped out came out. Okay. Including your bones, flexibly your bones and body. That's true. Right? That too, might also open you up to relationships, is that flexibility of the bones and body. All right. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles and also the Six of Pentacles for Danny. First for me with the Nine of Pentacles, I'm going to make sure because my Roman numeral was always off. This is could sound cliche, but it might make sense. I really feel like there's urging you to be in nature, countryside, nestling up. This might be a change of what your environment, or at least the environment you actually engage in. So I feel like that will be a change moving forward, especially for 2026. And this change environment, like I want to be around nature more, be kind of in the countryside, by the lakes, by all these different things. I want to spend more time there, just get urged this. That might actually say, do I want to move? Do I want to relocate now? Or do I want to find myself being somewhere else? Right. And so, I feel that being an antithesis of your change with your environment, actually. And kind of similar to what I was saying to the previous reader about being in nature, that is going to, with the person with the tiny house, that's going to be something I feel with you as well. And with this generosity card for me feels like it's saying that you do need to allow yourself to receive help from people, because I feel like there will be some assistance, people who are generous around that you do need to accept and be willing to receive, because that might help you with this environmental shift or change. To also allow resources that come from people, that's a resource. People help you as a resource. So when people say, oh, I need money or I need this and that. So sometimes Spirit's like, they put a person in your path, right? That's generous to help you. So I feel like there'd be that generosity too. And also you being generous as well. So, but I really is a focus and emphasis on changing your environment. And at least, and not so much even change your environment, but evolving yourself in environments that actually suit your overall well-being, as well as your spiritual evolution. That's going to be like a pinnacle change for you. And you'll start questioning where you're at, what you're doing, and what you're surrounding yourself with. So that's going to be a huge change, which also will launch into other different things too about, again, that will require a full read. Okay. This is a card pull from Lisa for Anthony, birthday month. Happy birthday, Anthony. Happy birthday, Anthony. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, this came out twice for you. So I'm going to pull that out. Okay, gotcha. All right, so the first card for Anthony is the Four of Swords, and this is my take a chill pill, chill the fuck out card, right? But I don't mean it in that. I think that you need some more time for you, to at least digest or to be in your own space, to relax and unwind, recuperate energy, right? So I think that you might be, you may have been a little bit of a busybody, I feel like. So the cards are kind of saying you need to find a way to even just intellectually, just settle down a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be a very important change for you too. And I feel like with the Eight of Pentacles coming up to me, I was kind of even feeling this before. This is all about craftsmanship, but I feel like you might do something new with working with your hands somehow. It feels construction, but it feels also maybe you create something with your hands or do something with your hands that's constructive, creative, and maybe find a new endeavor with a new trade or something. So I feel that is going to kind of immerse from you. But I think you need to chill the fuck out intellectually so you can actually start feeling that out of what you want for yourself, what you want to do, change you want to make. But yeah, so being handy with something. And the Four of Wands also might be you get involved with doing something with the house, and find I want to do this. I want to change this to the house or do something new with the house, or realize maybe you want to be handy with homes in certain degrees. So there's going to be a realization, I would say, a change. I wanted to be productive, and again, being a handyman, and that's not literally a handyman, the job profession, but something of that nature. So got a realization. I feel like there needs to be more productivity in a different way for you. That's not mundane. So that's what the cards are saying, and they're saying, "Happy fucking birthday, kiddo." No, there's a kiddos here, but I always feel like a kiddo because my parents will call me a kiddo. My mom's like, I don't care if you're 80, you'll still be my little boy. I'm like, thank God someone can tell me I'm young again. Being 43, I'm ready like preparing for like 50s. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 43. I'm like thinking I can do this by I'm 50. And I'm like, gosh, me 50 something? I can't even imagine. But it's just a number, right? So a friend of mine who I've known for like 20 years is like, you're getting younger looking. I'm like, please tell me more. He's like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I'm not stressing. I'm being honest. I release shit. I let go of shit. I don't want anything. That's what I do. Right. And that keeps you healthy. When you actually don't stress, and people who live to like 110, they may be smoking their cigarettes and stuff, but like, I just don't stress out about shit. I just let things go. I don't worry. I don't hold grudges. I don't gossip. They say all those things. And so same thing. I don't do those things. I always want to make things better as I grow, right? My health better, my outlook better, my relationships, everything. And so that releases a lot of stress. And I'm so excited about what I'm doing and how I want to grow what I'm doing and my reads and my music. And so there's so much life there. And so that keeps you young too. So, last but certainly not least is Karma. And she says, welcoming in 26. I just want to thank you, Nina, for being here for us with the show. Love it. Oh, that's sweet, Karma. You didn't have to do that, but thank you for that. That nice little tip there. It's very sweet of you. And for that, I'll just give you a little card pull. How about that? Scott Spirit Botox. Yeah, exactly. Spirit Botox. Look, I'm not opposed to it, but I would hope that I wouldn't need the Botox, right? So here's the key. I don't ever touch my face. Like, I don't rub my face. Like, a lot of people, I watch Gordon Ramsay. I'm like, God, he has so much wrinkles at 35. But when I watch him, he's always like rubbing his face, stressed out. He's always like, I'm like, no wonder he has so much wrinkles. When he's stressed, he like rubs the stress all over his face and he has all these wrinkles, right? I never do this on my face. I always keep my hands free of my face, and I hate when people touch my face too. If someone touches my face, I will slap the hell out of them. But like, so yeah, don't touch your face, guys. Don't irritate your face. Keep your skin nice and clear of rubbing and stressing and picking. And if I have a scratch on my face, I tap it. I just like tap it a little bit. You know what I mean? I never scratch anything. So, and I don't use products on my face. I just use cocoa butter and coconut oil. Cocoa butter, that's it. That's what I always use on my skin. So if everyone wants to know, everyone asks me, I don't use makeup on the live shows. So you're seeing me under bright lights, so no filters, no makeup, no powder, no nada. Sometimes I come greasy as hell. Oh, and beef tallow. I love tallow on the skin. I have like where I feel my skin is dry. And then I'll just like, maybe, I don't do it every day, maybe like once a week if it feels dry. I just beef tallow. Oof. And the skin like glows crazily. So that's my little tidbits. People always ask me, so I'm like, I don't want to be vain and be like, oh, I'm like the leader of like beauty tips. But I just want to that's what I do, share what I do. So on that. But thank you, Karma. I'm pulling a card. And oh yeah, and eating well too. That's another thing people don't understand. Like, I watch what I eat. I understand it's okay to like fuck up every now and then. We're life, you're human, but the body needs to also have something to work toward and rebuild itself. So if I have that cupcake or that cheesecake, whatever, I know, okay, my body worked hard for this. Now I'm going to like give my body a break and put something healthy in it, and it balances out. So like, I don't want my body to be, it's all healthy to where it doesn't have to work anymore. And then you get sick and the body's like, oh, I can't do this. So it's good to train your body too, to work a little bit and to process and just be more mindful and conscious about it. But for the most part, I make my own foods every day, keep it simple, stupid. I read the ingredients and everything. Right. And that card pull lasts for, Karma will get the beginnings. So it's simple. Just want to give you back beginnings. So obviously, Karma, you'll be starting a new chapter, 2026. And I feel like it's very career focused. A hobby becomes a career merge. And that's why I feel like this new beginnings is for you moving forward in 2026. So definitely merge in your hobby with a career. So, and I really feel like it's going to be a lighter year for you too, in that sense as well. Really kind of it making sense, right? Legalities you might have had, that makes sense. Like, everything kind of making sense is what I feel like the new begins for you in that sense. But like, I really feel like this hobby turns into career, and finding more of a pathway to turning that into something, meaningful for you when it comes to your work and career environment. So I think that's pretty cool. So again, general, because you sent me a tip, you didn't want anything to turn, but I just want to do something little, in response to you. So All right, guys. Well, that concludes the live readings. And my final thoughts. Okay, for those of you who may be just tuning in now, start from the beginning, because I did do a collective read as well, and I did my 2025 summary and what it meant spiritually and what we experienced and what we need to do moving forward. If you're politically get butt hurt by not picking a left or right side, then warning, I don't pacify Republicans or Democrats. Their extremes are both pieces of shit. So we need to find a middle ground from extremism. But I do feel like that's where we are consciously going. We actually are finding middle grounds on things. And I think that's a beautiful evolution that we will start seeing, to where we had to become fragmented to come together. And so that sounds cliche, but that's part of this world of chaos that we live in. I mean, we evolved from chaos. The Big Bang Theory, right? So I believe, people used to ask me when I was younger, do you believe in creation or evolution? I'm like, well, both, duh. You know, the source energy, the ultimate form of intellect had an idea, and it burst and exploded and evolved into what we have today in the physical world. And of course, we as consciousness hop in and incarnate and experience this physical world because of imagination of what we call God, or all that is energy, the source energy, had a thought and exploded. That's what the Big Bang is. So creation and evolution are the same, simultaneous, and we continue to evolve. We're here to evolve our soul, and we're here to evolve our species. And so that's the point. We're not here to just jump out and skip the line and ask a savior for repentance and to save me from my sins so I'm clean. Nope. You need to pay your debts. You got to pay your karmic debts, because you are not going to be saved in your next lifetime from that. So we are here to evolve. That is the whole point. And, you know, everything is on a process of evolution. That's what growth is. That's why things are eternal and infinite, because the growth of evolution phase is limitless. It never stops, never ends. And that's why we always have something to look forward to. Otherwise, shit would be goddamn boring, and we don't want boring lives anymore. So those are tuning in now. Rewatch the replay of that collective read, and I will be back, as I said before. Obviously next week is Christmas, so I won't be here. Okay. So I know I've only been here twice in December, but I will be streaming New Year's night. And hopefully you guys will be unwinding and able to just tune in, and we'll give the predictions for 2026 and forecasting what we're going to see. And those who didn't check out my 2025 predictions and how they came to pass about it, check out that video. I'm going to say it again, because I'm here to prove and showcase my abilities. That's why I'm here. And again, of course, I still have, December's been, with my readings, busier than I thought it would be, but I always look back at and I'm like, December's always kind of busy, still, even with the holidays. So, but I still have a few bookings left open for December, and I will be opening up January shortly. Actually, a little secret, only you guys know here on the live show. I didn't email my email list of clients, but January is already open, but no one knows it yet. So if you want to get your January bookings in, get them in now. Because if you want to get your forecast for 2026, book it now. And I probably won't be sending the email about January being open until probably next week. So you guys get to be ahead of my email list. Okay. So just letting you know, get your January in now, be the first ahead. And that's ScottCruzPM.com. And I'll leave with the commercial. And guys, remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? I love you all. Thank you so much. And I will see you on the 1st. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I love you. Spend time with your family, spend time with your dog, spend time with your pets, and find people to nestle up with if you don't have family around, people who are awesome. You're not alone in being alone, I tell people. When you're alone on a holiday, you're not alone in being alone. There are other people that are alone too. Why don't y'all find each other and nestle up and get cozy? But either way, I'll be here in 2 weeks. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening, guys. And here's my little commercial. So if you want to book, ScottCruzPM.com. And I'll probably be back with the completion of my new song, which I'm excited about. Love you all. Good night. See you soon. Commercial run.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to ScottCruzPM.com to book your own personal session today.